is. Hey everyone, I'm Matt Haeffner here for On the Water, and today I'm going to be fishing with the Z-Man HerculeZ paddletail swim bait. So we got a couple different colors. We have one called Bad Shad, that's kind of a gray bunker looking color. And then we also got the classic pearl white. It's got these 3D eyes on both sides, 7.0 I believe mustad hook, and it's only 5 inches, so it's a great paddletail for versatility. You can fish it for schoolies, fish it for big fish. Bluefish will also go for it. It's got that 10 times tough Elastec for a little extra durability, so it won't get chewed up for the blues if you do end up in a pile of them. And we're gonna throw it today and see if we can get some schoolies. It's only about 5/8 of an ounce, which is, for me, the magic number in surf casting. I really enjoy a bucktail or a swim bait that's right around 3/4 of an ounce. So this one's perfect because it's not quite 3/4 of an ounce, but it's not quite a 1/2 ounce either. So what I'm gonna do is just cast it out there and just do a steady retrieve. And what's gonna happen is that paddle tail action is gonna really kick behind that paddle tail. The tail is really gonna have some nice kicking action to it. You can work it in a variety of different levels of the water column. So I could have let it sink and retrieved it on a steady, slow retrieve close to the bottom. But what I did is as soon as it hit the water, I just closed the bail and started a steady retrieve. So that's gonna swim right around the middle of the water column. And I love paddletail swim baits because they just have such a realistic profile. The swimming action, when you see it in person, it looks like a real bait fish. I mean, you really can't beat it. And for a guy like me who loves bluefish and throwing paddletails, this is the ideal thing to throw. Like I said, it's 10 times tough Elastec. That's Z-Man's patented Elastec. So it's got that elasticity to it, so it's not gonna get chewed up right as the blues go for it. And white is such a classic go-to color that it's really hard to beat, especially in bright conditions like this or in low light conditions. You know, you got some stained water, you fish that in stained water, it's gonna stand out a little bit. You fish in clear water like this. Today we got a crystal clear day, winds out of the southeast, great spot to fish it. We have moving water right out in front of me, and that's gonna assist that paddle tail in kicking as I retrieve it. So try to find areas with a little bit of wind current and a little bit of moving water, and throw it against the current, so that way when you retrieve it through the wind current or the tidal current, that paddle tail is going to have some extra kick to it. And that's really what pushes it around the water and makes it a nice thudding sound. And it's going to get the fish, it's going to call their attention from a little further away. Casts really nicely. I do have the wind in my back, so that's going to be an advantage on my part today. But like I said, 5/8 ounce is really that magic number. It's not heavy enough where it's gonna snag on the bottom, and it's not light enough that it's just gonna ride on the top of the water column. So you're really gonna get that target area that you're looking for, which is right in the middle of the water column to the bottom. So last night I brought this out, this paddle tail, I brought it at sunset with me for a little bit of sunset surf casting. And I was able to land a nice schoolie on it. It was a really healthy fish, and it totally crushed it. It went airborne, as a matter of fact, as it did. So that was really cool to see, especially because you usually get to see bluefish do that kind of acrobatic stuff. So it's really enjoyable to find that there's schoolie bass around and that they're willing to take something that's 5 inches. I wouldn't say that fish was more than 18 inches at the absolute most. So to see it take a 5-inch paddle tail, definitely appetizing looking and a good size. Not a big fish. Not a big fish by any means, but it got the job done. So let's get this out of him. So I'm gonna give this a couple more casts. We'll fish this for a few more minutes and see if there's any fish in the area before we move to a new spot. But thank you for watching, and thank you to Z-Man for these awesome paddle tails. Can't wait to use them all season long. They're gonna be great through the summer into the fall run because you can just hit all areas of the water column, and the versatility of a paddle tail swim bait is hard to beat. So thanks a lot, Z-Man, and thanks for watching with On the Water.